Now, I'm not really big into politics, although every so often I will poke fun, but I'll definitely speak about something that may potentially affect me. I'm no Republican. I'm far from that, simply because of what they've become. And I'm not a Democrat. Why? Because every so often they open their mouth and say some dumb shit like, oh, we're going to take your weapons. Or it's okay with immigration. No, immigration's not okay right about now. That shit's out of control. So no, I can't say that I'm with that whole political process in that aspect. But when stuff starts to affect me, when you start infringing on my rights as an American, then I'm going to stand up. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I'm standing up so I can be heard. In which is kind of funny how I started this podcast, because there's a reason why I started it that way. See, I'm going to leave this person who actually motivated me to do this podcast, I'm going to leave him nameless. He posted a meme, and this is clearly aimed at Democrats. To me, it was a far deeper meaning, but of course they won't see that because they put it up and they thought it was funny. So yeah, it was pointed at the Democrats, the far left, liberals, or whatever designational pronouns you want to call them, you know what I'm saying? Is it more funny or is it more of a statement? That's what I got to ask you. You ever heard of wolves in sheep's clothing? I'm pretty sure you have. That's something that's well known. That's a well-known statement or a proverb or whatever it is. How about black folks in white coats? Now that you may not have heard of. That's not something that's been said. But people in the know, especially coming up in the 80s, they know about that. Here's the thing. Memes like that popping up because why? The Republicans or MAGA, these jokers are still mad because they lost. Oops, I'm sorry. They're mad because the election was stolen from them. So now they're digging and making dirty comments. Yet, people on the left, they really said shit. But if you consider me to be on the left, you're saying, Brian, you're kind of saying something now. I'm not, because I'm not talking about the political process. When the Republicans are showing their true colors, guess what? They're showing that, hey, even though we have stars and bars, so does a Confederate flag. So anyway, the dude posted a meme and I got pissed off. I don't know why I let little stuff like that piss me off, but I got pissed off. I was all in my feelings, right? And then next thing you know, I had people coming at me sideways, but I guess, you want to defend your boy, right? You want to say, because, I'm not going to lie to you. I was being a little jerk about it, but hey, it is my duty. Well, that's not my duty, but it's something I said I'm going to do. I'm going to call you out and I'm going to let you know that I know that your action says you're a racist. And I'm not going to let you hide behind it, no matter how many black friends you say you have. But like I said, I got on him about that. And next thing you know, his boys want to jump on me. It'd have been one thing. Maybe it was like a mix of black guys and white guys jumping on me. Hey, Brian, you're kind of wrong. You're being a jerk or whatever. No, the two white guys jumped on me. I was like, okay. I didn't really think too much about it. I took one. I had to copy and paste his statement because I want to make sure that when I spotlight this guy who came at me sideways, I want to make sure I do it correctly. So he sends me, okay, so let me rewind. So the picture I posted in lieu of their picture was a Klansman in his full regalia. Boom, pointed hat and everything. So he goes, you do realize it was the Democrats who created the KKK, right? You are showing your ignorance with this post. Turn off CNN and go outside. There is clean air out there. Okay. So I got to laugh, right? So first of all, he spells there, THEIR in lieu of THERE. And I'm ignorant? DMF. First of all, the only news that I'm watching is local news. That's because I want to hear who got shot or who got ran over by a hit and run on the east side. I give two damns about the political BS from Fox News and MSNBC. I don't care what. They're slanted for their sides. Got it. And to be fair, I'm just going to be fair with you. I say I'm going to be fair and impartial. Both news channels display their African-American panelists denouncing the other side like slave traders who are showcasing their finest stock. Oh, shit. That's right, people. I just went there. So this meme, first of all, it had 9 people, kind of like 9 people. It was like 9 people, or, well, technically it's 9 people, 8 people, one situation, la, la, la. Anyway. So they had one, which was Kamala Harris. Then the other one, Michelle Obama. And lastly, of the 3 that I'm going to discuss, directly, was George Floyd. And you're like, Brian, that's all black people. I'm a black dude, with respect. Come on now. Anyway, the meme When they're talking about Kamala, they're like, she claims to be black. I'm like, why would you say her claiming to be black as if it was a bad thing? See, historically, she's the first female to be vice president. But instead you make a joke. And every time I heard her in her context, she talks about being black and Asian. She never really said distinctively, at least from what I've heard, that she's just one. However, according to the 1911 Arkansas House Bill 79, Act 320, also known as what, people? The one-drop rule. This law has two goals. It made it interracial cohabitation a felony, and it defined what Negro was. Anyone who has any Negro blood, whatever, thus relegate to second-class citizenship. Anyone accused of having any African ancestry, you're black. So according to this bill, she is black, and she can say that. We didn't make it up. Arkansas said it so, and other states said it so as well. And then they want to poke at Michelle Obama, saying she's oppressed because she put herself as oppressed. No, I remember that interview. She was speaking as a black woman, not speaking of herself specifically, but talking about the black community and what we have endured as Americans. And let me set the record straight, because they put George Floyd down and put him down as a hero, as if the black community sees this guy as a hero. I'm going to tell you right now, and I can't speak for the black community, but I can tell you me, he's not a hero. He represents the world finally seeing what's going on in America, and the world saying, damn, y'all do got it messed up. And they're outraged that pursued after the fact. Now, anyone else, don't get me wrong, anyone else with any type of significance that may be black or happen to be of a darker or have a lot of melanin or whatever you want to call it, of course they're going to tag themselves to this movement, because that's the only way they themselves can stay relevant. Now, as for the other five of the six, well, I'll say other four of the six people, okay, historically, the far-right political have used to describe experience of fascism, Nazism, neo-fascism, neo-Nazism, the third position, the alt-right, racial supremacy, and other ideologies or organizations that feature aspects of ultranationalist, chauvinist, xenophobic, theocratic, racist, homophobic, and transphobic. Those were four of the six. One was the rioting or whatever, but they won't say anything about the January 6th insurrection, though. They won't talk about that because, you know what? It was an insurrection. They were expressing their political outrage, right? And then you had one of Joe Biden. They just don't like that dude. That's all it is. Call him competent. Man, he old. Okay, so he gonna do some old people stuff. But doesn't mean he's not competent. But hey, go ahead. Do your best. Do your best. We're gonna fuck around and have the first black female president. That's how I know right now. That right there is how I know Biden gonna get his foe. You heard me? That's how I know Biden gonna get his foe. Now, another guy decided he wanted to come at me sideways, and he's like, well, it was the Democrats that were down for slavery, not Republicans. Well, bro, to your point, here we go. The first 23 black congressmen were Republican. Now, this is correct. Now, his premise that he came with is mostly accurate. See, the Republican Party formed to oppose the extension of slavery, although up until the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, Abraham Lincoln and other Republicans pledged not to interfere with the states that already had slavery established. Now, it wasn't until the Republican Party and the GOP support for voting rights is when blacks started jumping on board, as well as the Democrats. They were embracing white supremacy. So why would blacks want to be Democratic when it was the other party that would kind of lynch them and hang them, right? Now, neither of the parties today, either Republican or Democrat, they're the same. They're not. They're not the same as where they were in the 19th century. By the late 1960s, the National Democratic Party had abandoned its former support for legal separation or segregation. Neither the Democratic nor the Republican Party of today are like their 19th century forebears. By the late 1960s, the National Democratic Party had abandoned its former support for legal segregation and enjoyed strong support from black voters, while Republicans had embraced voting suppression and they couldn't stand the civil rights movement. I will say this, if I'm going to think like you, bro, if I'm going to think just like you and say because back then the Democrats were bad, so now they should be considered as bad, And me being a black man in America, I should think the way you think on the history of the Democrats. You should be saying, hey, well, rice is rice. But we all know that's not true because jasmine rice is so tasty. And FYI, if you don't know what I just said and the meaning behind it, don't come for me. Don't freaking come for me. I will hook you up with an L and send you packing with you in your feelings. All hurt, son. You hear me? Stay back. Now, this right here, you want to call this shots fired? This is my first volley, my friend. This is my first volley. If you want to go ahead and test me, how they say it? Yeah. How they say it in Jamaica? Come on and test me now. You want to come get this right here? Come test me now. Yeah. That was a terrible Jamaican accent. But anyway, if you think you got it, come on my show. Handle your business. Show me that wrong. I will publicly apologize to you and say, hey, you know what? You're absolutely right. You proved me wrong. Ooh, but I ain't taking no L's. I'm always prepared. I was a Boy Scout, bruh. Be prepared. You heard me? Anyway, just want to put that stuff out there. Just letting you know. This right here, although it was professional, I took that meme very personal. Maybe you people should think about the stuff that you put out because you're really showing your colors. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for listening. We're out of here.